I've been one of Showcase's biggest critics, and in WWE 2K25, I can say that changed. I played the Showcase, I played the entire Showcase, and no, I can't show you everything that I've played, but I can definitely speak about some things. Now, let's go on ahead and start off with the WoW intro. Now, that intro to me was the damnest best thing I've ever seen in a Showcase. I had so much fun, and just getting into it and seeing, you know, just the way that these things look from certain angles, just the camera work, it was just amazing. I wish that more of the Showcase was like that, because that alone gets you hooked, and it's like, man, I'm hyped. I want to go and replay that. Like, just overall, one of the best experiences in that short amount of time that I've had in a WWE game, just playing Showcase. Like, that mode to me is one of the best modes in the game this year. And I'm going to elaborate to that because there's a lot of stuff going around, and I feel like Showcase definitely deserves some praise. And I know that, you know, different strokes for different folks, but to me, that mode absolutely changed the game, changed my mind from the previous years with the slingshot mechanic. But before we dive deeper into some details, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Let's go on ahead and get into it. Objectives, right? I've noticed that a lot of these matches I was getting through like this, very, very fast. 5, 6, 7 minutes, just getting straight to the point, getting cutscenes, and it was just a really much more enjoyable time than the past years, right? Because you have like 18 different objectives, and then you got the slingshot mechanic taking you right back out the game. So personally, I felt like less objectives, where you have 6 to 7 objectives, is much better for the game, for the user experience, because you're not there doing tedious things, and the cutscenes actually cover a lot of ground within the match. So I really appreciated that a lot of these cutscenes were very detailed. They look very similar to what happened in real life, so I was able to appreciate that part of it. I'm glad that the slingshot mechanic was finally replaced, and I think that we have something good with this Showcase mode. I'm truly excited to see, you know, the future of this mode, especially after seeing the intro of the mode. Just seeing that next year, maybe they can implement a lot more of that, because again, that genuinely was one of my favorite parts. I was speaking to one of the developers over at Creator Fest, and they were like, have you played it yet? Have you played it yet? And I hadn't. And once I got into the mode, I was able to tell, okay, I see why they wanted me to play this. This was insane. I personally enjoyed that. And I know I'm going back and forth, but just to get back into the in-game cutscenes, another great thing in the game. Genuinely one of the better experiences for Showcase that I've had since maybe 2K16 or 17, honestly. And I know that cutscenes were in there till I believe 19, but I didn't really experience the Showcase the way I did since like 16, around that time. So again, really excited about this mode. Just to get into some quick negatives, I thought the dream matches didn't really play a factor. It just felt like they were there to be there, just matches that I can go and play myself in exhibition. I wasn't really a fan of that. Now, if there were what if scenarios in here, I would have been much more excited about that, but the dream matches just felt like, hey, here's some matches, unlock these characters, and move on with your life. That was kind of the type of vibe that I got. If there was maybe some stuff that was mocapped and put in there in the middle of a match, such as, you know, what if scenarios and seeing what could have happened, or 2K's prediction on how this would have gone, I think that would have been much better for the user experience. But again, I felt like it was just there just to unlock characters. I didn't really enjoy those matches as much as I thought I would, because I felt that there was going to be maybe some scenarios or whatnot in there, but they were just regular matches with 3-4 objectives, which again, I do appreciate less objectives per match because it feels less of a chore and more of just playing the game. So that was really my 2 cents with that. So again, just, you know, I just didn't feel like the dream matches were necessary. Now, another negative, I did not like the order. I didn't like how we went from, all right, we're in modern day back to the old days. Just, I didn't like the match order. I didn't appreciate it. So that was definitely one thing that I was not a fan of this. I felt like it was taking me in and out. I personally like chronological order when it comes down to Showcase, because it feels like, all right, even if we had the what if matches, you can throw them in the chronological order of what they are. But I understood, you know, we got AOP in a match versus, you know, 3-minute warning. So I get that part of it, but I genuinely felt that maybe there could have been a better way to do it. Maybe if you bring AOP back to the era, just however you want to do that match, I just felt that there was maybe a better way to get it done with chronological order and whatnot, or maybe divide it into 2 sections. Give us chronological order and then give us some dream matches to finish off the Showcase. I just felt that there could have been a much better way to do it, but there wasn't. And to me, that just kind of took me out the showcase just a little bit. But again, it's not a huge negative. It's just the way the order was done. Because you go from next match after you finish one match, and it was like, oh, I'm at the day one arena. And then you go into the next match, and then it's like, oh, snap, I'm back in 1996. Just, I didn't like it. And I know some people might, but again, just my thoughts and opinions. Now, to wrap this all up, right? Because I don't want to spoil anything for nobody. I think you guys will enjoy this mode. I did appreciate the advancements that Showcase had this year. I think that it's, again, the best Showcase mode we've seen since WWE 2K19. I'll just put it at that because we have gotten, in-game cutscenes then, but in 22, 23, and 24, it was just a time of Slingshot, and I'm glad that that's finally gone. I was able to speak to developers, and Slingshot was actually more of a headache than anybody else knew because they had to blur out every logo on every t-shirt. And again, I tell you guys all of this stuff so you guys can have the same transparency that I had, because I just enjoyed being able to speak to these developers and just talk about the process of making this game. And Showcase to me was a great advancement. I think you guys will enjoy it. Personally, I think that it's one of the better modes in the game. I am excited to see what can happen, in the future. If you didn't buy the supercharge or anything like that, just the base game, I think that you will like it more than I did because there is a lot of unlockables in there. And I think that that's probably one of the better parts of it, because there's just so much stuff that you're like, oh man, they put this match in there. Like, again, there was some really cool matches, and I'm not going to spoil it for you guys for the third time. I'm just not. I'll let you guys go and play it. But they had some, I'll just say this, they had a John Cena version in there that I was happy to see in the game. Now, another thing that I do want to mention before we get up out of here is the commentary. I am so glad that that's back. The whole music thing in the back was so annoying the last couple years, so I am excited to see that back. And honestly, aside from the dream matches, me not feeling them, I did appreciate the ability to unlock characters that I didn't think I was going to unlock this year. Naomi versus Bayley, that's obviously not a dream match, that was real. But just having Naomi in there, a new Naomi attire, that was cool too. A new Bayley attire. I think that they did a good job at integrating wrestlers that we didn't think were going to be in the Bloodline showcase and just putting them in there, and just matches as well. Like Naomi, obviously she's married to Jimmy Uso, but just the matches that they chose, Nia versus Lyra, and getting those two new attires in there as well, that was something that actually did make me happy. I was happy to see those as unlockables. That's why I think people will really enjoy the showcase for what it is, because I feel like as much as they did a lot of things for the Bloodline, we are going to see a lot of new things as well for other wrestlers that weren't a part of the Bloodline. So I think that that's a win for sure. So these are just my thoughts, man. I loved it. Shout out to 2K for getting this right for the first time in a long time. I'm going to catch you guys. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.